Hello and welcome to week 7, our last and final week. I can't believe it. So today or this week, we are going to talk about time management and staying afloat. This is one of probably the most challenging as personal. It doesn't go as much with everybody else of parents, students, any of that. So you have to find your groove. So here are some 10 there we go. 10 helpful tips. So how to balance a very demanding workload, but also avoiding that burnout, but still being effective and efficient. So what are hidden times that drain you throughout the day? And these are things that you need to ask yourself. Is it a certain class? Is it a certain time? Is it transition between these? You just have to figure out what part drains you so that you can anticipate that and know how to navigate it. Prioritizing your tasks. Is it urgent versus importance? Time blocking, scheduling, and routines. Using technology and tools to help you manage your workload. Setting those boundaries, and it's okay to say no. It will be hard for you in the beginning as a beginning teacher to say no because you don't want to disappoint anybody, but you have to set those boundaries. Delegate and collaboration among your team members. Avoid burnout by balancing productivity and rest. Just trying to see what is truly important. Dealing with unanticipated items. This might be a crisis time, but how can you deal with that and not get in a tizzy? Reflection is crucial. Maybe some days, Mondays and Tuesdays are your days that you work a lot more in the afternoon after the kids leave. Or maybe it's Friday. I had a friend that would stay super late on a Friday afternoon. Me, no, I was ready to go. It was, as long as I had everything done, I was ready to go. And then workload distribution over a short and long period of time. So figuring out hidden draining times. So unexpected parent emails, just identifying those and trying to see how can I avoid them? How can I resolve them without it bogging you down? For me, I did not answer emails after I left that school building. For me, once I left, it was done. Now, I was one that got up very early in the morning and I was there in my classroom by 6:30. I didn't want it. That was my quiet time to work. But that's when I answered all parent emails and all of that. Now, some of these you can't avoid, meaning like technology glitches. Well, you should always have something as like, okay, we're going to do this instead, just so that you are maximizing your instructional time and having true, authentic learning experiences. Now, this is a very crucial skill to learn, is prioritizing urgent versus important. So this little matrix will help you with all 4 of the D's. So you have to decide what you need to do, decide when to do it, delegate, or just, I don't need to do that. But this will help you avoid burnout and not feeling so overwhelmed. I was one, I have to live by a to-do list. I still do to this day. And that helped me plan. So I wasn't just like, oh my gosh, I haven't even planned for today's lesson. I was able to stay on track of it. But making sure that you have this decision-making matrix kind of in the back of your head. Some people have even written it out. Time blocking. Figure out when is your best time that you work best. So is that during your planning time? Is that when you're going to grade? Is that when you're going to plan? Is that when you are going to just take a break? Figure out your best time. For me, it was in the mornings. Before anybody got to school, I got the most done because no one was interrupting me. Planning time, I still worked. But after school, for me, I was done. I had already been there all day. Other people like to stay late, which is perfectly fine. But know that you have to figure out when is your best time. I had a colleague that planning time, she shut her door and you did not bother her unless it was an emergency. Again, that's what worked for her. Mine was a little bit more fluid. Also, create checklists for yourself. So here was kind of my examples that I did. I made homework on Mondays. Tuesdays, I graded late work. Wednesdays, I made copies for the next week. Thursday, set up grade book so that it was ready for grades to be put in on Friday. Because Friday afternoon, I would try and have everything graded, whether that was standing at the door while they were working, I was checking homework. I did not give nightly homework. I gave homework on Monday and it was due on Friday. So I would get it throughout the week. So it wasn't like I was grading 90 papers on Friday. Again, you just have to figure out what works for you. Some people, no, you don't want all those papers. Completely up to you, but you just have to figure out your own routine and kind of stick with it, or else you will feel overwhelmed. Use technology to help you. We have so many resources, even more than now than we did when I first started teaching. We didn't have all this ChatGPT, AI, all of that. Use them to help you. Ever since COVID, there are so many things that you can use to help, whether that's making your weekly to-do list, whether that's creating your lessons. It also depends on your school of if you will have scripted programs of like curriculum or not. I was able to create my own and I personally like that better. So I was having to create all the lessons each day. Everyone doesn't have to do that. A lot of people have like scripted curriculums. But if you want to find something more engaging, use Magic School. If you don't have an account to Magic School, you need to get one. It's basically the educator's AI. ChatGPT, put in your lesson or your standard. Say what kind of students you have, and then it'll come up. Now, these are not end-all be-all lessons. You need to still tweak them to better serve your students, but it gives you that kind of avenue of, oh, here's an idea. Teachers Pay Teachers is another great one. If you don't have an account, I would strongly suggest it. And then I also just Googled and used images and be like, okay, I want to pull this part from this lesson, pull this. I just kind of brought it all together. But use technology, not just, how am I going to teach this? Use your resources. Next is setting boundaries. It is okay to say no, or I need help with this. Think about if you have to do it outside of your school hours, your contract hours, it is okay to say no. Now, can you say no like, I'm not going to grade this? No. But there's certain things that you can be like, I just can't do that. Like if they're wanting you to be part of a committee or something like that, it's okay. Some advice, turn off your email from your phone. Like even to this day, I do not have email notifications that come to my phone. I still have my email on my phone and it comes to my phone, but I do not get a notification. I have to actually click on the app to see if I get a notification. So again, if it takes me a hot minute to respond to you, that's because I don't get a notification. That is my boundary. If not, then I would want to respond immediately. And that's not healthy. Again, same with being in a school. Once you leave that school building, and you should have those boundaries of now this is your personal time. So when you leave work at school. Now there are sometimes you have to bring stuff home. It just, especially your first few years. But start getting into the habit of once you leave school, leave it at school. But you also need to make sure that you've used your time wisely and gotten things accomplished. I was one in the very beginning. I would take stuff home. I was staying late. I was getting there early. And I could already feel myself a year and a half in getting burned out. And it was like, no, I cannot do this. So once I started establishing, once I leave school, I'm done, it was much better. And I was excited for the next day. Delegate. Use your colleagues, use your students. Like if you want something organized and somebody's finished something, have a student organize it that you trust. But get into a habit of your weekly task. So you're not just all of a sudden, oh, I need to do this. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, no. Make a to-do list, a daily one, of everything that you need to accomplish, whether that's making homework, whether that's making copies, whether that's planning, whatever. Make a to-do list. Avoid burnout. Take time for yourself. You have to balance. Teaching is hard, mentally, physically, all of the things. Make sure that you are taking care of yourself. And figure out when you are most productive. If you are productive in the afternoon, then use that time wisely. Don't just stand in somebody else's room and talk about a student or something like that. Use your time wisely because teaching is challenging, but it's also very rewarding. And if you are able to stay on top of yours, your mental health will drastically increase and you won't have a burnout problem. I mean, I loved teaching. That's why I moved into this, because I missed it from my academic coordinator. I love teaching. And it's one of those, even after 10 years, 12 years, I still have that want to teach. And then how to deal with those unpredictability and crisis times. You have to know that you will have those like, oh gosh, I don't know what to do. Take a breath. Take a second, breathe, and then figure it out. So if you have some technology issues, what else can you do during that time? If you're a math teacher, do multiplication facts. If you have anchor charts around, review those. But try not to make it such a crisis. And then plan for those buffering times. If I ended a lesson early, then I would do one of the game apps just for them to review material. And then reflection. I cannot harp on this enough. Be very reflective. It is okay if you do not know. It is okay if you are not perfect. Nobody wants and nobody is perfect. So always try and be reflective of, oh, this didn't go as well. Or, oh, I should have tweaked this. Or, what could I have done better? But once you are reflecting, especially with managing your time, you can do that weekly, daily of, okay, I was behind of getting all of my copies done and I had to do copies every single day. Well, be reflective and be like, okay, this week I'm going to have all my copies ready by Friday for the next week. Just be reflective and have that mindset that you want to continue to improve and be the best you can possibly be. So I can't believe it. That was your last lecture from me. Again, I am always here, even after this semester. If you ever need anything, please, please, please reach out. I am here to support you in any way possible. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.